there and there's a long line. I really don't want to wait in this line, so I'll go all the way to like College Avenue to that In-N-Out.
Oh wow!
So it's like by the time I get there, I probably would have got my food already. I just didn't want to wait in line. All right, everybody, welcome to Hot Couch Potato, a podcast where we talk about video games and getting old. My name is Brent, aka Boo Wop. I'm here with my man's Rick, aka A New Perfect Day. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? How's your week been going?
Good. It feels like a long time since I've seen you, man. For some random reason.
I know, it's only been, I believe, a week.
Yeah, it's been since last Friday, no, not even Thursday, maybe, since Comic-Con. So a little bit over a week. It's just weird. I don't know. I guess I'm used to seeing you a bunch.
Well, I've been relaxing way too much, just looking in for a job, applying for jobs up in LA, and I'm actually looking for QA testing positions for game companies. Hopefully I can get into a game company and work my way up from there.
Yeah, hint. Any game company people listening? Hint, man. But yeah, man, I hear that. I was on the job hunt not too long ago myself, so definitely know what the grind is like, man. But yeah, I've been chilling. Fortunately, it hasn't been too hot out here, man. The sun came out today, but Thursday, Friday, it was cloudy, and I was like, man, this is Rick's perfect weather right here. I can't believe I'm agreeing with him that
a cold, cloudy day.
I know, it was raining. It rained a little bit too in the morning, and I was just thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Rick's preference of weather right now.
Because, dude, isn't it perfect gaming weather? You already know that everybody's inside somewhere, either playing games, they're very comfortable in their little blankets because it's cold weather or rainy weather. And that's what I like the feeling, too. It's like, that everybody's online doing something, whether it's Facebook or playing games.
No, man. I don't normally like that weather. But the fact that it's, off the heels of back to back, just sweltering days where I'm sweating my balls off, I'll take it. I'll take it a little bit, man.
Yeah, I do not like sweating and taking a dump at the same time. I have to bring a fan in sometimes.
That's so specific, dude. But I know the feeling. When you're like on the toilet seat and you like slide a little bit because you're sweating, you're like,
yep.
Dude, no. Oh, dude, just the worst experience, man.
But then, I don't like being super cold where your butt cheeks are like frozen when you have to take a dump too.
I'd rather have that, dude. Oh, man, dude, but I think it's only because I haven't hit a beach or a pool or anything during this hot weather. I think, well, no, I went to the beach. Not last weekend, but a couple weekends ago.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
And that was cool. I mean, we always complain that the water's too cold out here, but it's better than sweating your balls off,
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Comic-Con just ended last weekend, and we won't have another convention until December's PlayStation experience. I mean, pre-order tickets haven't even popped up yet.
Yeah.
So,
I think last year the tickets went on sale like around September for the early bird special, maybe September or October, and it was like $40. So we just have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because it's the first time in a long time we're not doing a countdown to anything, right? Usually we do a countdown to
we can count down right now for sure.
Okay,
6 months and 15 days.
Hella long, dude. Just a long time. I know PAX West is next month, but shit, man, getting tickets on a flight over there, that's kind of crazy. But we'll definitely
and I want to go with with the buddies too to go to PAX. I don't want to just be able to get the tickets and then like, oh crap, nobody else got tickets, and then go to Seattle by myself. That totally sucks.
So interesting. I was reading about this. I guess they found out that a bunch of people were scalping their tickets, or other companies were buying tickets and selling them at a huge upsell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they canceled all those tickets. So they just recently had a resale of PAX West tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. I don't know how much it was, but by the time I read this and I caught up and looked at the tickets, they only had, I think, Monday tickets left. which is super weird. I don't know what the dates of PAX West are, but I guess the last day is Monday, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's during the weekday too, so it's like everyone's already going home on a Sunday, which is pretty rough.
And I'd feel like the developers that are there presenting games are just kind of burnt out and just want to go home already at that point.
Exactly. You know? They're already packing up all of their things.
So one day, not this year, but soon enough, we'll be out there, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like the next thing for us is, what do you call it, dude? PlayStation Experience. Oh man, have you been watching Twitch recently? This just popped in my head too. Super random.
I have not been watching Twitch. Is there something going on?
So I guess they just joined into a partnership with Crunchyroll, or Crunchyroll is doing
what?
Yeah, or Crunchyroll is doing some kind of promotion so more people can subscribe to Crunchyroll or something. But they've been showing anime on Twitch like the past week, dude. They just have this channel that's just showing anime, dude. And I have been stuck watching it. I can't turn away. Like, I'll go, oh, what the hell? There's anime on Twitch. And, you know, I don't normally watch anime unless you tell me to watch something.
Yeah.
So I'll go over here and I see anime. I go, oh, shit, there's anime on Twitch. So I click it. And it's the animation is fucking weird and simplistic. It's kind of like, you know, One Punch Man, when he just makes that stupid ass face, but it looks super cartoony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks like that, except everybody's drawn like that. And the whole animation style is drawn like that. And it's these dudes, these kids in high school, I think, or in middle school, and one's the class president trying to take over the school, whatever. They have superpowers, super psychic powers, and they can beat people up with their psychic powers or whatever. And I couldn't look away. I just watched this shit for like 2 hours, dude.
You marathon the whole series, probably?
Well, no, because it was on from, I think, 3:30 to 4:30. Oh, no, 3:30 to like 9 or something like that. It was on for a long time. And I got home at 6, and, you know, I get my dinner together, and I got it on my phone, and I'm just watching it. And I go, what the fuck am I watching? But I couldn't look away because it was just so oddly entertaining, you know, to see this weird animation style. And these guys essentially turning Super Saiyan with their psycho powers and beating people up and shit. I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Do you know the name of this anime?
I think it's Mob Psycho 100 or something like that.
Oh, you were telling me to check that out.
Yeah. And then, what you call it? The funniest part is the hero, or I guess the most powerful guy in the show, is exactly like Goku. He's just this carefree guy that really doesn't want to fight. But you push him enough, you know, hurt people he cares about enough, there's like a level counter that goes from 0 to 100, and it'll track how mad he gets or how involved he wants to get into a fight. So I think it only happened once, and I think I watched 4 episodes. It only happened once where his meter got all the way to 100, and it's like a meme, you know. It's just like that. His power level's over 9,000. Everyone's like, "What the fuck? Why are you so strong?" You know. So it was pretty entertaining. And then yesterday, man, when I got home, I'd gone out to a brewery after work, so I picked up some Mexican food and just, you know, was eating Mexican food, watching some Twitch, and I watched the anime section again, and they were showing Yuri on Ice, and I could not look away from this shit either, dude. It's this anime about ice skating, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm really watching this right now.
Oh, shit.
It's crazy,
Is
man.
it like non-stop anime on Twitch? Is that what's going on?
I think, yeah. I mean, hold on. Let me look it up now. I think it's fucking still on there, dude. But yeah, they've just been showing anime all day, every day.
Is it like by full series they show each anime and then they move on to the next, or are they just showing random episodes?
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's the whole series. It might be just like one season or something.
Wow.
But yeah, dude, Crunchyroll Marathon Day 3. So I guess it did start on Thursday when I started watching it. But dude, it's so broken. I'm getting into anime. That being said, I don't know if I would really go out of my way to look to try and watch these episodes, but the fact that it's there and it's convenient to watch is pretty hilarious, dude.
Yeah, especially with dual monitors, you can watch it and play games at the same time.
Oh yeah, except the game I've been playing recently, I want to really like listen to the music, which is a great segue. Great job, Rick, about games we're currently playing. What have you been playing this week, man?
So I actually started Bloodborne this morning. And
What?
oh my god, I was getting my ass whooped so bad. It just made me remember my traumatic experience in the past. And I almost came close to quitting too. So like after I was dying a couple of times, you know that part where you were talking about with the tower shooting down at you?
Okay, yeah, you got to climb up that
I
hill.
spent the entire morning just trying to get up to that tire, to the top of that tower, and
Uh-huh.
I was pretty determined too. But halfway, I was getting like drained, so I was close to just shutting off my PS4 and like kind of rage quitting. But I was like, nah, I got to see what's up there. You know, like John Raymond was talking about this, you were talking about this, and you're telling me like you got to get up to the top of that tower and whoop the shit out of whoever's shooting whatever at me, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I inch my way, you know, at the first part where there's a bunch of monsters and they hurt real badly, but I've inched my way trying to get past that part. And I spent a good, I think, an hour just trying to get past that part. And then once I get past the part, like, I get into the next area where there's like dudes throwing giant boulders at you. And I
Yeah,
was like,
those
okay, this
Yeti
is
looking guys. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, okay, kill him. And then I died a couple times, and then as soon as I get back to that part, I go into the next level where there's giant spiders. Man, this part frustrated the shit out of
when
me,
you're
dude.
when you're inside, right? When you finally get inside. For the first
Yeah,
time?
when you get
Yeah.
inside at the bottom floor, there's giant spiders on the ceiling, and they drop down, and they hit so fast, and they hit hard too. So I was like, okay, I can't fight all of them, so maybe I'll like funnel them through the doorway. No, dude, like I kept dying over and over and over, and I was like, oh my god, this is frustrating. So, you return back to your spawn point, and then I just ran past all of the enemies in the first part, all of the enemies in the second part, run past the spiders, and I was like, okay, the spiders are not going to chase me. And there's this fucking dude with a sword. I don't know
Yep.
what he is, but he
Yeah,
has like
yeah.
tentacles,
Yeah.
and he keeps killing me, and I was like, oh my god!
Does he do that
So-
little cheer when he kills you too? He's like,
yeah,
gives a fist bump.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, this is bullshit. So I run all the way back to him, and then I noticed the spiders were chasing me. So I pull him into the next room, and then I start killing him, and then he kills me, and he makes that stupid little cheer or that little emote and dances on top of my body. And I was like, okay, this is personal. I'm not gonna quit until I beat the shit out of you. You're not even the guy that's shooting whatever is at the top of the tower, but I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy. And so I run all the way, do the same things over and over and over, and I pull him to like the corner. I kill him, and then I do my little emote. And I was like, okay, now I really have to get to the top of the tower and see what's going on and what's shooting me. So I make my way up to the tower, and there's this dogs, like, they have wings, but they don't move. And I was like, okay, you're not moving. So I was like throwing Molotovs at them. And then one of the dogs didn't have wings, and he runs super fast, and he almost kills me. And I was like, oh my god, I'm about to die at the top of this tower before I even see what is shooting me, So finally I managed to get to the boss, but I haven't beat the boss yet, but I got the mechanics down to the point where I know exactly where to go and where because he's that teleporting mist dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
What's
I
his
get
Mikolash, right? I think his name is
Yeah.
Mikolash. Yeah.
and I always get to the last part where he does like some AoE attack, and I just have to figure out the mechanics of
Oh
that
my
part.
god, dude.
Yeah, it kept killing me, but I managed to get close to killing him, and that's where I'm at in
So-
the game.
I guess I read about this. So I streamed this part when I played it, and I guess that fight used to be too easy, right? Because all you really had to do was sidestep to the right or whatever, then slash him. He'd do his little tentacle attack, but you could dodge that just by stepping to the right. Not even dodging to the right, just stepping to the right,
Yep.
And they changed it, I guess, to be harder. So I guess the attack you're talking about is when he puts his hands in the air and he makes that
Yeah.
spirit bomb that shoots throughout the entire room.
Yeah.
I guess that was the answer to making it harder. They patched it so he does that more often, and it's almost a one-hit kill, right? Well,
Yeah.
it essentially is
It
a
gets
one-hit
me-
kill.
It almost it literally gets me down to like a speck of life, and
Yeah.
I have to pop like 3 potions in order to to get my life back to full. Otherwise, he's gonna one shot kill me with that stupid
Exactly.
attack. And he does it like sometimes he does it
Back to
twice
back.
in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess it's not. It hasn't always been that hard. They just patched it to be that hard. Because
Golly, it's so frustrating.
the first time you fight him, right, with the puppets and shit, that's all he does. Is I guess he has a couple punches and he does that tentacle attack. But you
Yeah,
don't have to do anything.
exactly.
You just have to walk to the right and just slash. He does the attack. Walk to the right again. Slash. So I guess that was their answer to making it harder, was that AOE attack. Yeah, it's super funny because it's a bunch of little lasers, and then the first one staggers you, so you can't do anything, and then like 2 or 3 more hit you at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, it was already tough enough just to get to the top of this damn tower, and now I have to fight this motherfucker. Oh my god. Ooh.
What
Yeah.
what respawn point are you using, or what bonfire are you using?
I managed to get the one near the base of the tower. So all I have to do is just take an elevator up to
good.
where he is at, and then just run straight into the room. But
Okay.
yeah, I've died so many times before I can even activate that elevator. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god. Now I remember why I quit this game. But I gotta beat it. I don't even think I even need to be there. Do you even need to be in that level?
Yes, that's a part of the story for sure.
Oh, okay. Because it's like I was in the world became like all crazy and dark, and you know the monsters got harder. But I thought you could just avoid that one particular level. But now since I'm up there, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him because he's been shooting that shit at me, or at least I think he's the one responsible for shooting that shit at me this entire time and making me quit playing the game.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, man, you gotta whoop his ass, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good, man. I'm excited for you to finish Bloodborne. What else? What else have you been playing?
Just Final Fantasy and Rune Factory, but other than that, I think I spend more time on Bloodborne. Because since I don't have good internet up in LA, all I've been doing is like mining and doing all the extra stuff, like collecting stuff to upgrade your weapons in Final Fantasy, like my shield. Just to change the characteristics and the looks of it, so that way I can glamour it when I get a stronger shield. Because the Atmos stuff, or the stuff that I'm trying to get, is pretty irrelevant, like compared to level 60 gear and all the stronger gear. And I've just been mining and gambling away my money and playing like a card game inside Final Fantasy. And even though it's very basic, very simple, it just, with the rules they add on, it just becomes very hectic playing that stupid card game. I just feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! When I summon, like, I don't know, Exodia.
What, just like annihilate people?
Yeah, when I flip the combo, you know, and it flips all of his cards, I'm like, Exodia! Obliterate!
Yeah, because the card game is based off the card game in Final Fantasy VIII. Except they add their own twist and different rules to it, right? It's just like a 3x3 square, and then you just place cards down to beat other cards according to the number.
Yeah, and I think that if you beat 30 NPCs, you get the Squall card.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and then the highest one I've seen was Cloud, but you have to buy that through the gambling, or through the Golden Saucer area.
How much is that?
$1 million.
Oh, of course. Of course. So you know how I've been gambling a shit ton on that? I've gambled probably this whole time we've been playing, so it's maybe a month straight. I've been gambling on Final Fantasy. Guess how much I've made in all my gambling?
50,000.
70K.
Damn.
But the things that I want to buy are like $1 million, dude. I'm not even 10% there. It's horrible.
In the long run.
My subscription is gonna run out by the time I can make that much money at Golden Saucer.
Yeah, exactly.
So has there been any progress in the story for Rune Factory? Or is the dragons just still tripping out?
It's just basic grinding from this point. I haven't got past the plant monster. I just
that boss,
do the daily. Yeah, because at that point you have to farm up your stuff, farm up money to buy stuff to upgrade your weapons, and it's gonna take a while from that point. I see where where the grinding starts coming in, or why you have to farm. It's just so you can get money, so you can go back into the dungeon and stuff like that.
Ah, gotcha. So I've been playing similar to you. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 a bunch, and I've actually run into your worst fear, man. Someone was judging how I was playing, dude.
Really? Wow,
yeah, man.
dude. That fucking hate that
it
shit.
Was kind of heartbreaking, man. So I'm here. I'm playing a samurai, which is a damage class, and I'm just beating the shit out of everything, slashing away at stuff, right? And the tank mentioned something about, you're not doing this right. And I go, what? I just type in, what are you talking about? And he goes, oh, I'm a samurai main. You need to do this combo instead of this combo. So I'm like, but I'm killing shit fast, and we just go through, I'm still killing stuff, and then we go through the bosses, and we beat the first boss, and the whole time he's tanking on the way to the second boss, he's telling me what I'm doing wrong. Like, typing out pages and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, okay, man, I'm just doing my attacks the same way, dude. I'm not changing shit in the middle of this. I'm not going to conform in the middle of this fight just because you're explaining all this stuff. And he goes, you're still not doing it. And I go, dude, I can't adjust like that, change up one of my combos that I'm got muscle memory attached to in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, well, whatever. I'm just saying we could finish this faster. And then the healer goes, all right, just shut it up, man. Just let him do his thing. Nobody's dying. We're doing fine. And so the tank kind of shuts up. So, every time you start a dungeon, it lets you know if it's someone's first time doing it, right? It says, this is one of your members' first time running this dungeon. You'll get a bonus experience or bonus currency for finishing it, right?
Yeah.
It didn't say that at the beginning of this dungeon. So everybody knew what they were doing. That's why we just kind of jumped in and started running stuff. We get to the second boss, and I guess the tank is just on cloud 9 of being an asshole. And he's like, is this anyone's first time doing this? Because here is how to do this fight. And we're sitting here like,
my God.
We all know what we're doing, dude. Come on.
Exactly. Holy shit, dude.
So
this is the type of people the elite is.
It was fucking horrible, man. So we do the fight, we're cool, and then we do the last fight, and we're cool. We legitimately, we don't wipe at all. Everything's fine. I guess if I had done my combos right, we would have finished it, 2 minutes faster or 5 minutes faster. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're going out, and the tank says, thanks for the group, guys. Good luck, and remember to research your jobs. And he leaves, and that's just like an underhanded fucking insult to me. And I go,
yeah,
all right, man. I see how it is. And just said, oh, thanks for the group, guys. And like, oh yeah, thanks, whatever. And then I leave. Then I have 2 commendations. So I was like, fuck yeah, you asshole. I'm getting commendations as a DPS class.
Exactly.
So those other guys must have felt bad for him. But it struck a chord with me, man. Because the whole time I was thinking, oh man, this is what Rick's talking about. It got me so bad that I hit up John Raymond. And he main samurai too. And I was like, yo, John Raymond, this tank just yelled at me. You got to teach me these combos, dude. And it turns out, more or less, the combinations I was rolling through are what you need to do. It's just that I didn't know that you had to keep certain timers active during these combos. And I didn't know that I had a damage over time attack. It's just a button that I never used to press, but I needed to incorporate that in my combos as well. Also my AoEs, I would just spam AoE attacks, but that annihilates my TP. So I had to go around and just rotate my attacks differently. It was what he was showing me.
Oh,
so,
I see. Yeah,
it was like,
that's what I mean. That's what stopped me from the last couple of years ago. It's just those people is like, oh yeah, this enemy looked at me. Oh, you should be able to do this, and hold the aggro if you do this. And it's like, dude, just let me play the way I want to play, so that way I can have fun. Not just telling me what to do. Why don't you focus on what you need to do? Kind of stuff like that.
Exactly. So I just thought it was funny, and after John Raymond showed me those combos, I implemented those and how I play, changed my keybinds around and stuff. But yeah, man, you're a tank. Worry about tanking. It's just stuff's dying. We're not wiping. You don't have to trip. That was the whole time I was just thinking about you, man. I was like, ooh, Rick's not ready for this stuff yet, man.
I think the one that I remember is the one we were both ninjas and we were just fucking around, and then the tank was like, "You guys are not DPSing fast enough. You're not doing your combination, your rotation the way you're supposed to be doing." I'm like, dude, we're just fucking playing ninjas. This is a low level dungeon.
I know,
let us
man.
play how we want to play. We want to be ninjas, so let us jump.
I remember that time we just left. We were like, "Fuck this guy," and we just left.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the healer was defending us too. It was like, just let them play how they want to play. You know, it's a low level dungeon to begin with. But the elitists, I'm just surprised that they're there at the higher levels. Now I'm not looking forward to getting that high level yet, but I don't know. I'm taking my time, enjoying myself, and playing the tank. Still the same way how I remember playing the tank. And if no one is dying, then I think I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. And I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't worry too much, because then you could play with us. You know what I mean? That's why I'm dreading it, because the only tank I really know and trust is you, man, and you're not at the content that I'm playing yet. So it's like, oh god, stranger danger every time. But other than in Final Fantasy, so because that happened, just like you, my attitude kind of changed toward the game. So I've been tapering off a little bit. You know what I mean? I haven't been playing as much. I've literally just jumped in to play the slots at Golden Saucer. Still keeping up with Sleeping Dogs. I played that a little bit more. It's actually crazy. There's some legitimate actors in that game, man. Voice acting, and they took the likeness too. I don't know if you know who Kelly Who is. Does that name ring a bell or anything?
Don't know.
She's Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2.
Oh wow.
If you remember that. So she's in the game, and the character that she's voicing looks exactly like her, so it's hilarious. She plays this detective out there that doesn't know you're undercover, and she gets mad at you all the time for causing shit. And you know you're a good guy, but she doesn't. It's kind of crazy. So I've been playing that. Haven't jumped back into Final Fantasy VII yet, because I started a new RPG like a dumbass. I'm working on this little project, maybe a little feature for a Hot Couch Potato, but I started playing Chrono Trigger again. I got it on PlayStation. It was like $10. So the last time I played this game, I was probably how old was I? Not even 10 years old. Super
wow.
young. So I don't remember anything about it. I just remember getting my ass kicked at some point by a boss, and playing it now at the age we're at. That game is so easy, dude. It's just this turn-based old school Japanese RPG, and you go through the story and you fight stuff. It involves time traveling, so it's gonna get a little bit confusing. I'm already preparing myself for that. You've never played it, man?
No, I don't even think I've heard of it. I think at the time when you're playing that, I was playing Xenogears.
Okay. Yeah, because it did. It was on Super Nintendo, but it did come out on PlayStation, which is funny because I heard the Super Nintendo version of the game was way better.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah.
So we have to get a Super Nintendo and maybe stream that one day.
For the best experience, maybe. And it's comes down to load times, right? Cartridge load times are non-existent, but on a CD there's always going to be load times on that shit, so that's probably why it was better. But yeah, it involves time traveling, so I know it's going to get confusing. The characters are all cool, they're all unique in their own way. You know, they're super stereotypical of the characters you would have in a Japanese RPG. The only thing weird about the combat system is you have these abilities where you can attack like an area on the field, right? Like your attack will hit a certain area on the field, and all enemies in that area are going to get damaged, right? Like an AoE, sort of. But you yourself, you don't have the ability to move in a different spot, right? You're kind of fixed into one spot in the fight. But the enemies can move around the field however they want to. It's so fucking weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's the weirdest combat system ever. But it's easy because it's turn-based, so you have time to plan out what you're going to do in your attacks. And the only thing is you can't dictate where enemies are gonna be what enemies are gonna be where on certain points. So let's say I want to do this attack that takes up this one area, and I want to hit like these 3 guys. I don't know if one of them's gonna move out of the way, and I'm not gonna hit him anymore. You know, it's
Well, what
so
about
weird.
like if you do an attack and does your character move and stay where the enemy's at, wherever you did that attack?
No, he'll do the attack and he'll move
And
back.
then run back. Oh.
So yeah, there's those where it takes up an area, and there's attacks where the attack goes in a straight line. So if there's enemies that are lined up, then you can hit, the enemy and whoever's standing behind him or whatever. But the beginning of that line is relative to wherever your character's at. So if you're trying to hit 2 enemies at once that are in a perfect line, but you're in some random spot where it's not a perfect line, then you can't hit them. But someone else on your team will be in that spot. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain, but it doesn't make sense to me how the enemies are able to move around the map freely and you can't, And recently I just got to this point of the game where there's an enemy who can pick you up and throw you to another side of the battlefield, and it's like, dude, how come I can't just do that to someone else, or I can't move anywhere else? It doesn't make sense. But maybe with the limits of the engine, or it's a Super Nintendo game, they really couldn't implement anything like that. But I'm enjoying my time with it. It's fun, simple game. The story is so reminiscent of the RPGs we played back in the day, dude. It's so simple and doesn't make sense at certain points, and there's so many plot holes where you're like, okay, I guess we're doing this. There's stupid ass mini games that are in there too that they throw in every so often. So I'm having my fun with it, man. I think so far I've sunk in maybe 12 hours or so. I think I'm halfway through. So yeah, man, just keep an ear out. Might do a feature on something involving Chrono Trigger soon, man. But yeah, dude. So a lot of different games I'm playing out there. A lot of games that are gonna take me forever to finish, which is horrible, man.
Which is all of them.
I know.
Started like RPG games.
I know, dude. I need to just get these games I can finish in 2 hours and just be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all about the experience. I'm trying to experience everything. So yeah, as we mentioned before, Comic-Con ended last weekend. It was those 4 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Rick and I went on Thursday. I went on Friday. Rick went on to go Saturday and Sunday like a madman. I don't know how he did that weekend activity. So we just want to close it out. Just mention any experiences that we had that we didn't have last time, man. I know you went after we had our last show, so anything that you want to share, man? Anything crazy happen?
It was just the usual things that we saw at Comic-Con. When I went back on a Saturday, I went back with my nephew to check out the things on the outside because I didn't have a badge to get in. And as soon as we got there, before we got there actually, my nephew had breakfast, and so we got dropped off, and I was like, dude, you're gonna take a shit right now. You're just.
Wait, did you eat? You didn't eat at all?
No, I fucking ate nothing,
God,
dude. I didn't eat nothing the day before.
You're gonna pass out one of these years in the middle of Comic-Con. Oh my God.
Oh no, I'm old. God, I need to eat. Oh shit. But as soon as we got there, we get to the edge of the convention, so where the Hilton is. And we were like, okay, let's just go inside the Hilton to, see if there's anything going on inside. And as soon as we get in, my nephew goes, oh, wait, I gotta take a shit.
What the fuck, dude?
Or I was like, okay, let me show you where the bathroom is. And then we went up to the bathroom, and it turns out there was a line to take a dump at 7 o'clock in the morning.
What?
And I was like, dude, oh my God, why is there a line? How come these people found my bathroom, man? Yeah, apparently
found my bathroom, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it was empty, but now like everyone knows where this bathroom is, and there was a line to take a dump. So after that happened, we were in the back of the convention center, and there was a really long line, and I thought it was the line to get into the convention. But it turns out it was just a line to get into that little carnival area it was by Adult Swim.
Oh, the Rick and Morty spot, right?
Yeah. And I was like, the only way I would stay in this line is if they had a Pickle Rick. I don't know
Oh
if you saw
yeah,
that
yeah,
commercial.
yeah,
Yeah. But I really want something that's like a Pickle Rick, you know. But so we decided to skip that line, and then we went into the Marriott to see if there's anything, if we can get into the Mario Lounge. And it turns out that the line was capped, and they told me the same bullshit to come back 15 to 20 minutes. And we're like, oh my god, starting to trigger my little trauma that I had inside the convention. So I was like, fuck this, I'm not gonna wait here. Let's just go back outside. So we went outside, you know, across the street, and decided to check out everything. There's like The Walking Dead, the Ant-Man, you know, all that stuff outside. And by the time we were only there for like an hour and 30 minutes, by that time we were like, all right, we're ready to go home.
Really?
You know?
Not even that
yeah,
long.
So yeah, but we ended the day pretty early for that. And then for the next day, I had to go back with my nephews. And this time I went with it, my two of my nephews and Eric. And one of the tricks is nobody knows that, or not a lot of people know that the meters are free, so you can park pretty much anywhere in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we got front row parking in the green spot, which was like right next to the Lolitas and next to the ballpark. And nobody parked there because they don't know that everywhere is free, you know, on a Sunday.
Yeah, because it's Sunday. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that's a little tip for those who go on a Sunday. Just go like maybe around 6:30. Leave your house around 6:30. You'll get there where there's a lot of parking on the street where you can go ahead and just park there versus paying $40
Hell
in
yeah.
any of the parking structures.
So much, dude.
Yeah, so we ended up getting in the line that we waited in on Thursday to get our badge, to pick up my nephew's badge, and we went in. They scan your badge, by the way, to get in. And so we went upstairs to pick up my nephew's badge, and it turns out that's where you can pick up a bag. You know, like, I was always wondering, I was like, how do these people get their bags? But for the people that get their stuff mailed to them, all you have to do is pretend like you're going to go pick up your badge upstairs and then scan your badge and you will get a free bag, which you get a free lanyard too.
They tell you if you haven't gotten your bag yet, you can go upstairs and get your bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, that was cool though. And I think that is pretty good too. Like, if you go on any other day, just pretend like you're going to go pick up your badge because you get in earlier, before 9:00. You know, the people that already have their badges, they have to wait until it opens around like 9:30. So if you just pretend like you're going to pick up your bag for say, or you know, your badge, they let you wait inside the convention center right on the top floor before the doors. So they form a line. You form a line in front of the doors. So I think that's a good way to kind of skip the line for the people that don't know how to get inside and bypass the crowd. Because as soon as we got into the hall, it was like kind of empty. Like we were still running to things, but yeah. So when we got in, I had to get stuff for Marnelli at the Totodoki area, and then dude, that line was so bad. Fuck yeah! I think that's the worst line out of all the booths inside that hall, because there's two lines and they don't want you to wait around. They don't want you to stand. They're like, oh yeah, just come back in 5-10 minutes and we'll try to let you in. But if you stay there, they're like, no, if I see you guys again, you know, I'll make sure you guys are not getting in line and stuff like that. What the fuck? Exactly.
What threat is that, dude?
Exactly. I was like, you're just a fucking security dude, you know, what the fuck? But anyways, the other security dude was pretty cool. He was like, I'll remember you. Don't worry. I'll guarantee you'll get in. You know, I'll remember you guys. Don't worry. Just keep walking around. So I like walked around for like a good 10 to 15 minutes, and then he was like, I remember you. You can come in. And I was like, all right, cool. But then like a guy snuck in, and he lined up behind me. And then he like confronted the guy. He was like, sir, I don't remember you being in line. I don't remember you. I was like, fuck, you know. He's like, I already have a system going down. I already remember who's ahead of who and blah, blah, blah. I was like, Jesus Christ, you know. But anyways, the Totodoki stuff, most of the Totodoki popular stuff was already sold out, but I got the shirt that I needed.
Yeah.
And all that.
Because that spot, that what do you call it? That was in the middle of the floor, like not against the wall. So lining up for that must have been crazy.
Yeah,
their booth actually, hectic.
Yeah, because it was especially near that Funko Pop area.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Like gathers a lot of people too. But anyways, so one of my nephews already ran off, the older one. He wanted to go check out anime, and me and my younger nephew were just browsing the floor, and we decided to go all the way to the other side of the convention, where the games are. And he managed to get all of his stuff, and we were like, okay, let's try to get in the Blizzard line. And then that's where we met up with Eric again, and we got into the Blizzard line and got our stuff. By the time it was like noon, dude, me and my nephews were already done. We only were in the hall for like maybe 2 hours. We were already done for the day, and I was like, do you guys want to check out anything on the outside? Anything? And they're like, no, I just want to go home now. I was like, ooh, music to my ears. Because essentially I already got everything, I already seen everything. I seen everything on the outside. I already been there Saturday, so I too was ready to go home. So we ended up going home at that point. But yeah, I think now I'm just gonna try to get 3 badges, so that way I can spread my time out and then go there randomly during the hours at the slow pace that we're normally supposed to, versus rushing to get all the things that we're, all the exclusive things and all that. But yeah, that sums up my Comic-Con experience. It was overall pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'd say mine was good too. I just went Thursday, and for the afternoon on Friday, I work across the street from the convention center. So
lucky
on Friday, I just took a half day. Went to work in the beginning of the day, and then in the afternoon, just had my badge, jumped into Comic-Con. Surprisingly, it was more packed than it was on Thursday, which was crazy to me. And remember I mentioned last time, I think we should just go in the afternoons because it's not crowded and stuff.
Exactly.
I thought my strategy would be true on Friday too. It didn't hold, man. I went in there Friday around 3:30 and it was packed still. I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Dude, that's the same as Sunday too. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we try to go from one side of the convention to the other, from the gaming back to the Funko Pop area. Dude, it took 45 minutes for us to just walk. Holy shit. Yeah, it was so bad with the crowd on the Sunday, and I guess they sold more badges that day, so.
That's so weird, man. So, a couple things that I did on Friday, which were pretty funny. I think I mentioned too, I don't really like buying stuff from Comic-Con. I don't really like buying stuff in general because it's just clutter, and I'm trying to eliminate all the clutter in my life. So I'm not really trying to buy anything like that. Everything I got on Comic-Con on Thursday, the Overwatch hat and the keychain, those were for other people. I just totally gave those away, So I'm walking around on Friday and I meet up with a couple of my friends, and they have this Attack on Titan medal, like you run a marathon and they give you a medal. It was that, but it was the Survey Corps. And I was like, what? That's cool. How much was that? And they go, oh, it's free. You just have to go and answer a question or do a little quiz over at this one booth. And I was like, really? And they go, yeah. And they had a string backpack too, or whatever. I was like, all this is free. And they go, yeah, man, here's the answers. And they text me the answers. And I go, oh, okay. So I go to the booth and I'm like, oh, hey, I have the answers to your quiz. And they go, oh, okay, did you sign up? And I was like, no, I didn't sign up. And they had like this iPad or something. And I had to sign in, give an email or whatever. And it's like, all right, what's the answers? And I don't know. It was like Wall Maria or Wall Rose. It was something related to the show or something. Like, okay, cool. And they give you this bag and this fucking medal. And I go, what the? Are you serious? This is all I had to do? And then as I was leaving, this guy walks up and he's like, oh, how do I get that? And they go, oh, okay, here. So here's this little scavenger hunt you have to do. And I was listening to all the instructions. Dude, you got to walk around the entire Comic-Con outside to find clues to answer these questions. And I was like, holy shit. I could give this guy the
Damn.
answers, dude. So I walked away a little bit. He was walking too. He's looking down at his paper with his friends and stuff. I was like, hey, man, here's the answers to the questions. Just walk around for half an hour and come back. So I was sharing the love, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
get those out.
exactly. Saving the trouble.
Hell yeah, man. But that that medal and that backpack I gave away, you know, to my cousins because I wasn't really trying to have clutter in my life, dude.
It was from Funimation booth, I bet, right?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Eric got that medal. You have to spin the wheel. That was from the Funimation event that we went to. And
Oh, really?
Got that medal. Yeah, and they give you like free tote bags and free shit. But
Yeah, the bag was like a lime green or something like that, and it said Attack on Titan on it, or it had the Survey Corps thing on it.
Damn.
But yeah, if you answer that question, they give you both of those, and I was like, all right, cool, and just, took those, and it was cool enough. I was like, maybe I should keep this, but clutter bros, not in my life, not in my life. Another thing was I wanted to get my bag, or my mom wanted me to get the bag, so she could have it for groceries or whatever. So I went upstairs and got my bag and stuff, and there was this guy standing outside of the thing, and he's like, hey man, what bag do you have? And I was like, Wonder Woman, whatever. And he goes, oh man, can I have the pin? And I was like, the pin? And there's like a pin on the bottom, like right hand side of the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah man, I think I'll hold on to it. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah dude, I'm cool. He's like being really creepy about it, so I didn't just give it to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, who knows, dude? Come to find out, I just found out about this maybe 2 or 3 days ago. That Wonder Woman pin is selling for like hundreds of dollars, dude.
What?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Because I guess Wonder Woman is a rare bag or some shit like that. And
Holy shit.
everybody, they don't necessarily care for the bag. They care for the little pin that comes in it. So people were out there trading like it was Disney or some shit like that with their little pins. And yeah, I guess Wonder Woman was hot on the streets, man. So I don't know. I gave that stuff to my mom, and I don't know what she did with it. I might just tell her, actually, if you want to make a couple $100, sell that Wonder Woman pin. So super random, dude. Also went to my last panel that day as well. I was done. So the panel started at 6. I got there at 3:30. I was done with the Comic-Con by like 5. I was tired already, so I was like, all right, man, let me just go to this panel a little bit early, and just sit there, enjoy the air conditioning, since there's not going to be that many people. So the room that the panel I went to was, the people before it were like this animation company, and they specialize in hand drawing stuff still, instead of doing all their artwork digitally. And you can tell, man, I don't know if you've ever seen Dr. Katz. You remember that show?
I don't.
I think it was on Comedy Central, but you could tell the animation was a little bit more rough, you know what I mean? And you could tell it's all hand drawn. Like every single frame is hand drawn, so it's crazy. And one of the guys on stage is Bill Plimpton, and I know Bill Plimpton because he animated one of Kanye West's music videos. So I thought that was pretty cool. And someone even asked him, like, oh, hey, what was your interaction like for Kanye West? You did the Touch the Sky video for him and all this and that. And the guy goes, oh, man, Kanye West is great. And went on for maybe 15 minutes talking about how Kanye West wasted all this money on a professionally made music video for that song, but he didn't like it. So he came to Bill Plimpton, who I guess lived in Chicago too, and was like, hey, man, I like your animations. I watch Spike and Mike's Twisted cartoons or whatever. Can you do this music video for me? And the guy was like, yeah, sure. Kanye didn't have the budget to give him any money for it, so he paid him out of his own pocket to like do the music video for him. And I guess all of their interactions, he just sees Kanye West as a really creative dude, and he wants to nurture that stuff. So it was good to hear someone having a positive interaction with Kanye West, because I'm definitely a huge Kanye West fan, and he's such a divisive person. Or polarizing figure. You talk to someone on the street about Kanye West, like, ugh, why do you like him, man? He's such an asshole. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's kind of a relief for once to hear someone have a positive experience and have that kind of creative respect, because there's two different sides to that world. So it was refreshing. The panel I watched, of course, was about video game writing. Just listen to more people talk about the process in writing video games and the ideas behind it. So
we got to write our own video game
soon enough, man. soon enough. I think it'll come. We just need ideas to come into our head. It's crazy how people can just come up with ideas like on the fly or as part of their job. You know, they're like, oh
Yeah.
hey, the winter quarter is coming up. We need a game to come out. Go ahead and put something together. Like, could you do that? I would be like, shit, what am I gonna write about?
No, I spent my entire life thinking of a story. So if I know my story
Right?
might be popular,
Right?
but after that story, I'm like, I have nothing else, guys.
See, yeah, that's the thing too. That's the thing. That's why they have they're called sophomore slumps, right? With anything, with video games, with music too, especially. You spend your whole life writing your first hit. You know, you need to
Yep.
replicate that less than a year later. How the fuck?
Shit.
are you gonna
Yeah,
do that?
exactly.
That's so crazy. So again, time at Comic Con was great. Can't wait to go again next year. Hopefully, we get the luck of the draw. With
Yeah, I
our
was thinking about like buying maybe 3 days so that way I can be able to take different people. So like, Thursday, it's always me, you, and my cousin that always rolls on the Thursday. And then
Mhm.
Sunday, I always take my nephews, but maybe Saturday I can take somebody else. Like the people that couldn't get in,
Mm-hmm.
that's essentially who I'm buying the badge for. Like my other friends or my other nephews or cousins.
Mm-hmm. What would you like? Sneak them in, dude, or what?
Well, let them use the badge for like Saturday or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, Comic-Con success. Like I said, can't wait to go again next year. We're gonna have our little team of people just waiting in that line together, since you can buy badges for up to 3 people.
Yeah, and I better find Xenogears there next year,
Shit,
man.
that's crazy.
I am gonna camp. I am sorry. If it's gonna be there next year, I'm
That's
camping
fine.
next year.
That's fine, man. I'll be moral support from the comfort of my bed, dude. I'll be thinking, go, Rick. You got it, dude.
Oh shit.
But yeah, good times. So this week we'll be talking about building our gaming PCs. Shout out to Dustin, by the way, who's trying to put together his first ever gaming PC. So weird though, because he plays League of Legends. I asked him, I said, man, don't you play League of Legends? How come you don't have a computer yet? I guess League of Legends isn't really graphic intensive like that, so he plays it on a laptop. My friend.
Yeah, or actually I installed League of Legends and let my nephew play it on my computer, and oh my god, it like runs pretty smooth for a high-end computer.
Yeah. So Dustin, if you're out there listening, man, the whole world is going to change with this.
Dude,
New computer.
we for this past week we were actually helping him assemble a list for the parts he needs to buy for his computer, and he already got most of the list down, so all he has to do is just make that purchase, and boom,
Crazy,
he's
man.
in our world.
So we had that similar experience too. PCPartPicker.com is a godsend. Whoever created that is a genius. It lets you know what pieces and parts are compatible with each other. We built our computers. I think I built my computer first, and you had yours maybe 6 months later, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. You and Russ build your computers, I think, a year before me, or maybe,
Okay.
yeah, 6
It was that
months
long.
or something. Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you, man, building your computer?
Well, the thing is, like when we were playing City of Heroes back in the day, I pretty much bought a couple of my parts and assembled my computer, but I didn't really assemble, like build it from scratch. So this time around, like in 2015, when you and Russ were convincing me to buy a computer, I was like really excited to actually build one from scratch, because I was taking all these classes on the technical stuff on building a PC, but I've never really played with it in person, And then so when I was building the PC, that's where I invited you and Eric to help me build my PC, which was really cool because you taught me that trick where you build the parts on the outside of the case first
Oh
and
yeah,
test
yeah.
it to see if it runs. And I was like, oh, I never knew that. And it actually is a trick that many PC guides enthusiasts use before they implement it into the case. Because if a part doesn't work, they have to disassemble the entire PC in order to figure out which part is not working. And
Yeah.
I think that is pretty cool in itself too. It's like figuring out which part doesn't work. But for my own PC, I want everything to work. So building it from scratch, selecting the parts, I think that was fun in itself. Is figuring out which parts is compatible, which one is good, and doing the research behind it was pretty crazy. And then building it and coming close to building it or finishing it, that was really enjoyable too. Now, the thing that was pretty rough is just knowing if your computer would turn on or not. So,
That is the biggest fear. Yeah, man. You put in all this work, you spend all the money. All that's left is to push that power button to see if it works.
yeah. And I think mine didn't really even turn on because I think we didn't connect the RAM properly, or one of the parts we didn't connect properly, and then we're like, oh, okay, it was simple as this, and then everything booted. Everything
Same. Dude, I had the same thing. So, like you said, you put together, you have your motherboard, you put the CPU chip in there, you put your graphics card, and you put your RAM in there, right? And then you
Yep.
could just boot it up just to see if everything in there works properly, because that's the main components. All that's left is to put that in the case, attach a hard drive to it, and you're good. But that's the main portion of it. And so you turn it on to test it. I remember they give you this little speaker too to let you know what the problem is, and it's like Morse code. The codes for this.
Yeah,
It's like if you hear 2 short beeps and 1 long beep, this is probably what's wrong with your computer. And there's a list of like 50 of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I turn mine on
exactly.
and it goes beep beep. Doesn't do what it's supposed to do. The screen is all black still, and I'm sweating at this point. I'm like, oh my god. I finally, for me, putting all the parts on PC Part Picker, like you said, that's a great experience. Just learning about the builds and what CPUs work with what motherboards and why and all that. That's great. Um, and then you spend I spent maybe almost $1,000 on the PC itself. And after all that time waiting for it to come in the mail, spending all that money, finally have it in my hands, put it all together, and push that button, and see that nothing comes up on the screen. The beads of sweat on my forehead traveling down my
Yep.
cheeks. Yep,
Yeah.
so bad. It probably wasn't even hot that day, but just because all this effort and it turns out it might not work, just hurt my feelings so much. And the whole
Yeah.
time I was scared, right? They tell you about static electricity and you got to be grounded at all times. Don't touch any of this stuff unless you touch something metal first. And I was so worried that was something.
Yeah.
So I remember I went downstairs, grabbed a glass of water, and I finally got on my laptop and searched what these beeps mean. They go, oh, you might have an unseated RAM chip. So I was like, oh, okay. Turns out all I had to do was push down one corner of my RAM, turned it on, and it all worked perfectly.
Yeah. I now remember what mine was wrong. I didn't plug in the CPU power to the motherboard.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I remember me and you were like sweating bullets, just like, oh shit, why is my computer not turning? I'm gonna have to use my troubleshooting skills that I haven't applied yet, but let me troubleshoot this shit. But dude, yeah, that feeling is crazy.
So what made you want to build your PC? Was it just us getting on there, or?
You know what? I don't remember why exactly, but I really wanted to get a really good PC because I think at the time my laptop was crapping out.
Oh, okay.
And so I was just tired of the stuttering. I was tired of buying different PC, like pre-made PCs, and eventually they would fail. And then I would always see, people like boasting, "Oh yeah, I can run over 100 frames a second," and blah 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 blah, and the graphics are amazing. And I'm like, here I'm running on low graphics, and I wouldn't know what that world is like. And then I think it was the time when I went over to your house and you showed me your PC and how smooth everything ran. And I was like, dude, this is
Oh yeah.
incredible. This is amazing. And then I think we went over to Russ's house and he showed me his PC. And then that's where he launched Final Fantasy. And I was like, oh my god, I've never seen a game move that smoothly, you know? And I was like, man, Russ and Brent have these awesome PCs, and here I am still with like my laptop. So it's time to buy and build a PC, you know? And then so that's what I think that's what got me to building a PC.
Oh, okay. Okay, but before you had a laptop and all that.
Yeah, a laptop, and I think I had a desktop, but it was like one of those all-in-one monitor desktops, and I gave it
Okay.
away to my sister. And then as soon as I gave it away to my sister, it actually crapped out like 2 weeks later. I was
Oh
like,
wow.
damn, dude.
So I think what got me into it was Steam. So I had Steam, and at the time I had a MacBook Pro. I still have my MacBook Pro, and that's what I mainly use. I use that to play City of Heroes. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
And I was on Steam and seeing all these games, and I was like, man, I forgot which one I was looking at first. I'm trying to look right now. It might have been The Witcher or something, and all the first two Witchers were on sale for maybe $10 total. And I go, oh man, that's gonna be cool. Let me buy this. And I'm clicking on it to buy it. Only compatible with PC. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna buy this. And with everything else after that, every other game that came out, it would only say compatible with PC, only compatible with PC. And I'm like, why? Why does it matter? So I started doing research in how I can run PC games on my laptop, and I found out about Boot Camp and how you can have Windows on your MacBook and all this stuff. And at the time, I was working in this technology company, and I told this guy my plans to do with my laptop. I'm going to put solid state drive in it. I'm going to upgrade the RAM and all this stuff. He goes, why, dude? Just build a PC and get Windows. We have an employee discount for Windows. Why don't you just build a PC? So I thought to myself, yeah, I should just build a PC. And that was my first, glimpse or dive into the rabbit hole, was my coworker telling me I might as well just build a PC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
haven't looked back since. Once I experienced 60 frames per second. Oh my god, dude. I feel a little bit spoiled going back to PlayStation, and I'm noticing it. I'm like, man, is time slowing down or something? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was mainly, for the games, and then a lot of other programs that really don't work that way on Mac, where you have to finesse it somehow, work on PC easy peasy. Like some bootleg Photoshop programs and things like that. That being said, I also wanted to stream at the time, so I built my PC with like the specs to stream and stuff too. So that was fun, that whole process, and it actually got me more into the IT world. Once I had my
Yeah.
computer built, and once I had implemented everything, changed all the specs in the software and hardware to the way I like, I saw ways I could implement that at work with people who didn't even know how to sign into their email automatically, on Outlook and shit every day. I was like, what the hell?
Exactly.
You just check a couple check boxes on your startup menu. Like, what are you doing? People started to notice that where I worked, and since I had the experience at home of doing my computer thing, I got promoted to like IT specialist at my job. And then I got in charge of a
Nice.
team that took care of servers, and it kind of put me in a spot I wasn't prepared to be in, all because I built my own computer. But that experience helps out a lot, man. And I think, it's definitely put me in a place where I want to be, just dealing with computers all the time, for sure, man. I know you, even before you built your computer, right? You were definitely into IT.
Yeah, like I just had a brief high level overview of IT, and I didn't really have the foundation. But once I built my PC, I was like, man, I'm starting to see the intricate work and see how things are built and designed. And yeah, it just made me love IT even more, especially like with helping out other people and building their PCs.
Yeah, right. You're always excited helping someone else build their PC, because you just can't wait. Because I won't deny it, the best part about building your PC is starting up that first game and running it at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just sitting there like, oh man, this is what I've been missing. Look at all this. I didn't even know. I look like I'm running faster, but it's the same speed. You know what I mean? As someone else. Because we played Final Fantasy 14 mainly on PlayStation. PlayStation 3, actually. So, graduating from that and going to PC playing that game was not even day and night. It was like Earth and Pluto at that point or something. We're just way in outer space with this shit now. So it's crazy. So that's obviously the best part, is playing that first game on there. What was your worst part of the whole run building your PC? And what was the part that kind of stressed you out the most?
It's just turning on. That's the only thing that like really gets to me. It's knowing that when you built this awesome machine with the money you put in, and then it doesn't turn on. You know, like I've already had like almost 3 or 4 scenarios where the PC didn't turn on, and I was like helping people guide how to build their PC. And like there's one time where I was with my coworker, and I helped him build his PC, pick the parts and everything. And then once his parts came in, I came over to his house to help him build the PC. But like I remember he dropped his CPU on the floor, and I was like, oh my god, like, you know, I was like kind of joking. I was like, it's not gonna work no more and all that stuff. And when he built his computer, like we tried turning it on and it didn't turn on. And I was like, holy shit, it might actually been, you know, you damaged the CPU.
The CPU chip? He dropped the whole CPU chip?
Yeah, he dropped the CPU chip, but he dropped it upside down. So he dropped it about maybe 4 or 5 feet from the ground.
But didn't land on the side that matters, right?
Yeah, it landed on the
label was on the bottom.
Yeah, the flat side. On the ground, and I was like, dude, you just ruined your CPU. I was like scaring him. But, you know, I was scared too, because I was like, holy crap, your computer's not turning on, and here I am trying to help you build your PC. You know, it makes me look unprofessional that your computer's not turning on, but it turns out, like, he just didn't plug it in, and I was like, oh my god, dude, you're scaring the shit out of me. Yeah, he didn't plug it into the wall, and I was like, oh my god. So that was the first time. The second was, I think I was helping Danny build his PC. And, you know, we get everything assembled, and when we plug it in, we tried turning it on, but it wouldn't, like, nothing was showing on the screen. It was turning on, but nothing was showing on the screen. I was like, oh my god, please don't let a part be broken. And after, like, maybe 30 minutes, we discovered that it was because he had the wrong type of RAM.
Oh.
So his RAM board, or his motherboard, was meant for DDR3, but I think he bought DDR4. And, you know, like, we were trying to force a different amount of pins into like, a limited amount of pins. Yeah, exactly. And we didn't know that it was sticking out. And it just took a while to figure out like what type of RAM he had, because I thought his board was a DDR4 RAM board, but it was a DDR3.
He didn't use a PC part picker?
I think he bought his parts from Derek Pasquale.
Gotcha.
And I think there might have been like just a mixed up with the boards, but you know, the next day he returned the RAM, and then I came back and his computer started working from that point.
Gotcha.
And then I think the third time was with my nephew Patrick. So he ended up getting a PC that's almost actually pretty faster than mine. His stuff is pretty good, and he got like a 970. At the time, I only had a 960 GTX video card, and he had a 970. And it turns out that he didn't apply thermal paste to the CPU.
No, dude.
Yeah, so the thing kept getting hot, and then it would turn off. And I was like wondering why, and then I was like, Patrick, you didn't even apply the paste to it. And he's like, what paste? And I was like, oh my god, we're about to blow a $1,500 computer.
Holy shit, dude.
because he saved a good amount of money to build his computer. Like he was
Hmm.
picking out the best of the parts. But yeah, so you know, I think that's the worst experience is putting this computer together and it's not turning on and it's like a simple user error. But that simple user error is like it's very devastating on
It's a
my
lot of
heart.
time. Yeah,
I'm
it's a
an
lot of
old
time and
man.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I'm like,
yeah,
oh my god. So yeah, that's my worst experience.
yeah. No, similar to you. I had the same experience. This is actually really funny that I'm thinking about it now. Um, but my roommate's boyfriend, um, he wanted to build a computer too, or he had a computer. It was pretty decent, but he still had a regular hard drive on that shit. So he
Mhm.
wanted to put a solid state. So I was like, yeah, man. I was showing him my PC. I was like, look at the benefits of solid state. My computer starts up in 2 seconds. All these games and stuff load up super quick. Just go to Fry's, man. I bet you they have a sale right now. Just ask for a Samsung solid state, man, and you should be good. I did this without showing him any pictures or opening anything up. This was around Christmas time, so my roommate ended up buying the solid state drive for him, and I think more RAM too, or something like that. And without talking to me about it first, she just knew the parts. So she comes back, has all these parts. This guy's super excited. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's like 11 o'clock at night." I'm like, "All right, cool. I just got home from a Christmas party. We traded gifts or we did gift exchange. Cool. I'm gonna go to sleep." He's like, "Hey, man, help me put this together." I go, "Ugh, okay, dude." Because putting your computer together takes kind of a long time. So
Yeah.
he had to take out his hard drive and put in his RAM first, and then I was like, "All right, where's the new hard drive at?" And he hands me it. I swear to God, it looks like one of those old, your memory card for the PlayStation PSP Vita.
Yeah.
He hands me something like that, and I go, "What the hell is this?" And he goes, "It's a solid state drive." I go, "No, it's not. What the fuck?" And I was like, "No, this isn't gonna fit on your computer." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll look." And he's trying to plug it in to that little port that normally plugs into the hard drive. And
Oh no. Yeah.
it looks like it fits. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't trust this at all, man. Because then we have to transfer your Windows and everything on here. I don't think this is gonna work." I was like, "Let me see the box." And I see the box. It's for a freaking laptop, dude. What the fuck, man? And I had to break it to him, like, "Yeah, man, you're gonna have to return it." He was so excited. He wanted to build his PC right there and then and start playing games. And I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Fry's and return it again this one." This is where I like pulled up my phone and actually showed him a picture of it and showed my roommate too. And
Yeah.
he was so devastated because the next day was Christmas.
Oh no.
Did
So
it-
you had to wait like a
it
couple
yeah,
days.
you had to wait a couple days before I had to play it. He had days off and he just wouldn't be able to play. So yeah, man, that's horrible. It's the same thing with you. It's just, yeah, you put so much time and effort researching all this stuff. When you finally get together, one thing goes wrong and it doesn't work properly or how you imagined it would, and that can kill your morale super quick.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but when it ultimately comes to building a PC, I mean, there's maybe 5 essential parts you need, and then your case, right? You'll need a hard drive, a motherboard, CPU, RAM, and your video card, right?
Yep.
That's really all you need, and then just throw that into a case, and you'll be good to go. So, what would be your dream build? What do you have right now, and then how would you improve it, essentially?
Do you want me to go down the list or
It doesn't matter. Just whatever your dream build would be compared to what you have now.
Let's see. Let's go off what I have now is like a Fantex case, and the side is clear. So I really dig in the case because it hides the power supply box as well as the cables.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you can really see is just the video card and the fans. And so I just changed the fan, and it looks pretty good. It looks really clean. Before I was all for those full tower cases, and then that was my previous case, and I was like, man, this case is huge and it's super heavy, but it has really great airflow and cable management. But
Yeah,
then I was like, man, I was like weighing in the cons and the pros. I was like, the only thing I would have kept is if I kept expanding, like doing SLI or like putting a bunch of hard drives or putting more stuff, but I went down to a medium size case, and which I enjoy the most. And so my motherboard right now I have is like an Asus Z97A, and it's one of those older motherboards that was pretty popular back in the day. But I think I need to upgrade that at this point, because now I need to look into getting DDR4 RAM, getting the new processor, Skylake memory, CPUs, and because everything is going faster, but my computer I know it can handle maybe 5 more years, at most. The graphics card I used to have was a 960 until I installed the 970 into my nephew's and found out he was running like a lot of things on ultra and high. And I was like, fuck, man, like with the 960 back in the day, I was only able to handle Grand Theft Auto at like maybe medium settings. So it was a big leap at the time to go from 960 to 970, and now I'm running everything pretty smoothly. And so to match the video card, I had to get a monitor to match the video card. So I had to get a monitor that with a display port, instead of HDMI, because display ports are pretty fast in their bandwidth, and you have to have a monitor that can match the scaling as well as the speed and the latency and all that stuff. So for example, if you want a 1080 monitor, I got one that can run at 144 hertz, which the hertz means the frames, basically, essentially. So I can run my monitor like at 144 maximum frames per second. It just depends on the game and depends on the settings too as well. So recently I was able to run Overwatch, for example, at 144, and I was like, man, this is amazing, because I was used to running things at 60 frames per second on my 960. But when you have all that installed, it just looks really amazing. Everything looks so crystal smooth, and it's ridiculous. So the thing is, I would like to say is I missed out on the 980 that went on sale one of the days I was at work, and my coworkers were like telling me to buy it, and I was like, nah, I was like skeptic. I was like, nah, it's $200. I don't know, maybe I'll wait on it for a little bit. An hour later, when we go on lunch, the site crashes. It's because everybody and their baby's mama is buying the 980 at $200. And then I looked up the price, and it was like $440 or $460. And I was like, man, I would have saved a lot of money, because the performance of a 980 is like nearly equivalent to a 1070 at this point. So I was like, damn it, I should have hopped on that 980. Because, dude, but yeah, anyways, so I got a power supply that is fully modular. I know yours is different.
Yeah, man.
But anyways, I got a fully modular power supply, gold. That means, the efficiency of how well the power transfers. And it's 80 plus. And it's 650 watts, because I think I remember it was like a general rule that you have to have maybe a little bit more than 50% of what your computer does, and maybe 25% more than its maximum, or something like that. I don't remember. And I got Intel iCore i5. At the time, the 4690K were really extremely popular, and it runs at 3.5 gigahertz. It's a quad core and all that, but now I have to eventually upgrade that some point. My RAM is the 16 gigabytes DDR3. It's only at 1600. I thought I had more. So it's at 1600. Which is the speed of your bandwidth of your RAM. And the Cooler Master, which is the fucking amazing thing that keeps my CPU cold, is only like $24 that I bought it for. And I got a solid state, a 1 terabyte. No, a solid state. It's a 256, and I got a mechanical drive, which is a 1 terabyte, which holds my downloads, and a 4 terabyte, which holds all of my porn.
Holy shit, 4 TB, dude.
Well, it's not 4 TB of that. It's just
Well,
eventually
we won't
one
dwell.
day-
We won't dwell. Yeah, we won't dwell. On that too much.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So
My computer. So Rick mentioned the modular power supply. I don't know what it was. I think it was just super expensive at the time when I was building my computer. So I had to bypass getting a modular power supply. And essentially what that is in your power supply, you have to provide power to maybe 5 different things inside your computer, right? You have to plug power into your motherboard, into any optical drives that you have, into your hard drives as well. Power has to be running to each of these things. So you're going to have wires from your power supply going to all this stuff. What a modular power supply provides is you can plug those in individually. Let's say you only have one hard drive. You don't have to have all these wires for multiple hard drive plugs to power them. You could just have the one. So it eliminates a lot of mess or a lot of wires that are just hanging out doing nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
My power supply isn't really like that. It has wires plugged in regardless if you need it or not. So if you open up my laptop, if you open up my computer, there's probably, I don't know, maybe like 6 wires hanging out not doing anything.
No.
And it is a fucking tragedy, because that's one thing you'll learn too when you build your computer is cable management. You know, you don't want to open up your computer and it looks like a fucking pile of pubes, dude. You want it to look like a Tron bike taking sharp turns and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's one thing, and I think that's almost my biggest improvement I'd want to make. and modular power supplies are so cheap now, man, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're
I
super
think I
cheap.
saw some for like $60, $50.
Yeah, man. And when I was building
Yeah.
my PC, it was maybe in the $100 region or $120
Yeah, I
region.
spent
Yeah.
I think $85 for mine at the time.
Yeah, and that was a year after I had bought mine. So it's crazy how much the price has gone down for a lot of this stuff too. I mean, initially when I was building my PC, a 980 graphics card was over $500, right? Almost $700.
Yeah, $600,
Yeah,
$650 actually.
And now there's motherboards that outperform it that are a fraction of that price, under $400 even, right? Aren't the
Yeah.
1070s at maybe not even $500?
I think they're like 500 now. Well, because right now, I think what they're doing is a lot of people are buying up the 1070, 1060s, and 1080s, and they're keeping it. So they're like reselling it at really high prices. They're inflating it.
They're manipulating the prices on that?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's why, like, when you go in stores, you see a lot of stores, they're sold out right now. And I checked, and I was like, damn. A 1070 is like between $400 to $500, and my friend bought his for like maybe $300, $350.
Yeah, because that's what they were originally priced at. I remember watching that E3 or watching that press conference when they announced these new graphics cards, and even the 1080 at the time was $500. Or when they announced that it would be $500.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're sitting here thinking, whoa, I have a 980. That's 100 plus my 980, and it costs $200 less. What the fuck? So it's just crazy how, like you said, how much more powerful these PC components are getting, and how much more powerful they're getting at the same time. You know, as cheap as it becomes.
Yeah.
So with my PC, my graphics card isn't even that impressive, man. I'm still running a GTX 760. Just showing how old my computer is.
I have no idea what performance that is at right now.
Yeah, man. It's a DDR5, essentially, man. And I can still run stuff at 60 frames per second. But as I mentioned, with more graphic-intensive games, like I can run Grand Theft Auto 5 at high settings. It's fine. And it's still running at 60. But getting to that over 160 frames at 144 hertz, I don't even have a display port in my thing. Yeah, man. So I definitely see the need for improvement. And as I mentioned last week too, with Sleeping Dogs, I just feel like it's stuttering a little bit too. So it's time to upgrade that. Ultimately, if money wasn't an issue, I would just get a 1080. Shit, throw two 1080s in that bitch, and we'll be fine. I have Intel i5 4670. I want to get an i7, man.
Yeah,
And I think they're making stuff that's even more powerful than that now, right? I heard AMD is even coming out with stuff that's more powerful than that.
Yeah, I think so. The AMD. I forget the name and all that, but it's like on almost at a server level, so it can handle pretty powerful performance.
And it's just for a PC, for one PC, which is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Since Windows 10 doesn't have a limit on your RAM, dude, I have 24 gigs of RAM. My computer right now, which is an overkill. It's legitimately an overkill. But I guess I don't know. I haven't compared it to anything else. The only thing I can compare it to is my computer at work, which has like 2.5 gigs of RAM, and I just have no latency. If I open something up, it's smooth. You know, especially with my solid state drive, it's everything that I installed directly onto that. It's just incredibly smooth. I have a 4 terabyte hard drive for all my stream saved videos. From my stream saved videos. I changed out the hard drive actually in my PlayStation 3.
Oh yeah.
A while ago. Yeah, I changed it to a solid state. It's like a 500 gigabyte solid state, and the hard drive from that I reformatted and put in my computer too. So there's like 160 gig hard drive in there that like has nothing on it. It has like City of Heroes or something random on it. You know what I mean? It's because it's an OG hard drive with all moving parts, so anything I put on there is gonna run that much slower. You know?
Yeah.
My motherboard is an Asus Z87, and I have all DDR3 RAM that fits in there, man.
Yeah.
So my shit is definitely sounding dated. When you were describing your stuff, man, I already felt like my stuff was old. And you barely built yours like a year after me, man. So definitely a lot of room for improvement. I would still keep the solid states and all that. Want to move up to i7 and get DDR4 RAM in there for sure. Because as much as the price goes down and the performance goes up on these things, games are going to get that much more intensive too, right?
Yeah.
Like VR is coming out, and that'll just take up more processing power to play as well. So definitely want to upgrade everything in that sense. I think the main thing too I want to get is, what is this they're coming out with now, the Xbox One X, the vapor cooling. Have you heard about that, dude?
No, what is that?
So there's liquid cooling, right, where essentially you have water in pipes in your PC that kind of filter themselves through like an aquarium, and that water touches your CPU and keeps it cold that way, right? It takes the hot water, gets it out, cools it back in. That's essentially how that water cooling works. I have no idea how vapor cooling works, but it's in the Xbox One X, and it sounds like the fucking future. So I want that in my next computer.
Your Xbox One X is all blowing vaping signs and shit.
I know, dude. I don't know what the fuck
vapor someone to vape with you,
but it sounds fucking amazing, dude. If it's just, I don't know, if every 10 minutes you just hear psst, psst. There's just like vapors all over your computer, like, oh shit, dude, look at that shit smoking. Except it's not burning up, it's keeping it cool, man. Because people do wild shit with water cooling too, right? They put all kinds of coloring it and dyes in it, so it looks like your computer's a fucking science experiment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just so apprehensive about putting liquid in electricity. Like, what if one of those tubes breaks, or it wears out after a while and starts leaking on all your shit, man? I'm just too scared, man. But yeah, vapor cooling, fucking nano machine gaming with my two 1080p's, my two 3060p graphics cards, man. That's gonna be great in the future, dude. You know what I'm gonna upgrade to? With my modular power supply. Fuck my power supply, man. But yeah, ultimately it's a little bit of a tough process. I mean, I really only built my computer because I had some extra money laying around. I'm sure it was the same for you, man. Once you had the money together, you were able to put it up. But in the end, like, there's nothing that replaces that feeling, right? Of playing that first game crystal clear, more than 30 frames a second.
Yeah, just blowing people's minds. That's what I like too. Is when I assembled everybody's computer, and then when they started playing their first game or whatnot, they're like, "Oh wow!" You know, that experience of showing them a whole new world. It's just that crazy. You know, like I was used to my laptop.
Oh wait, yeah. I just remember real quick, man. We were playing Invictus, I think it was. And we were playing in the same mission, and with the whole time we were on voice chat, I was like, "Man, this game looks great." And you're like, "Man, mine looks like crayons." And I think I sent you a picture of something, and I texted it to you, and you sent me a picture of what you were looking at back, and it looked like fucking Leonardo da Vinci and crayons. And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, you can't even see the ground. I was like, dude, when I saw yours, I was like, "Oh my god, there's grass on the floor." You got fucking grass? What the fuck? Your character's sweating? Oh, mine's a polygon. Shit.
I know, right? I know, right? It's just a shame that we can't have City Heroes on these brand new computers, man.
Oh, I know, dude. It would look completely amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But that's how it was different on your laptop.
Yeah, like it was that crazy too. And then I was used to when I turn on my computer, I wait 5 minutes, so I like get up and go somewhere else to do something.
Mm-hmm.
When I turn on my computer, I'm like, "Oh shit!" 5 seconds later, my computer's already at the start screen. I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm used to everything turning on fast now, so
hell yeah.
With that SSD, it makes a huge improvement too.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And that's the crazy going on price again. When I first got my 250 gigabyte solid state drive, it was almost what, $400 or something.
Yeah, like
now
they were pretty pricey now. Back then.
Now it's not even $1 per gig anymore. That stuff is cheap, dude. So
yeah,
I think aside from the graphics card, if you're willing to build a computer, might as well stockpile on some of the pieces now, man.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. Shout outs to Dustin. I wish you nothing but good fortune in the wars to come, which is your PC building experience.
Oh, and what I also like too is making the person nervous of
fucking
whoever's
troll,
building.
dude.
Yeah,
what a troll.
So I'm like, don't touch that. Oh, you touched it. Oh, it's already done.
Dustin,
like there's
you
time
touch
when
whatever
Danny...
you want to touch, even the bottom of your CPU. Go ahead and touch the bottom of it.
Dude. Yeah, I was like telling Daddy, I was like, "Daddy, be careful. Don't touch. You can't put your fingerprint on the CPU." And he accidentally like touched it, and his fingerprint was on the CPU, and he was
on the top side of it.
Yeah, so he was sweating bullets, dude. You can see the sweat from Daddy.
And then even if you tell him, "Oh, I was just joking," the sweat is still there because you might not.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then I remember, doing the same thing to my nephew, and his hand was shaking so violently. I was like, "That's too much thermal paste. That's too much. That's too little."
Who is it? John Raymond, you've created this monster. How dare you? You've created this troll.
Telling you, man, our family is nothing but trolls.
Fucking A, dude. Remind me never to go to one of your family reunions then, man. I won't be able to stand it. But yeah, man, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week talking a little bit about the direction of video games, how it was compared to when we were kids and how it is now. And Rick and I were talking about this. It's ultimately up to the developers, right? Back in the day, we had more Japanese developers making games, but as they became more mainstream, they moved on to America, right?
Yep.
So we'll be chatting a little bit about that. But before we go, Rick, some words of wisdom.
This time I was prepared.
Okay.
So here's a quote from Bruce Lee.
Oh my fucking god.
Defeat is the state of the mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality.
I already know Bruce Lee really didn't say that, but we'll see you
I
guys
know,
next
but
week. Peace.